I'll go ahead and get you updated here on our grain trade, and then we'll venture over toward the Mid-Atlantic region here in a moment. Now let's take a look at this corn board. Our quotes are provided by Bar Chart. And on December corn at the moment, with our live quotes provided by Bar Chart, we are down 2.5 cents. We're now at 487 3/4. So that means we have climbed back off of our earlier low a little bit ago by about 2 pennies. And the March is 2 1/4 lower at 501 3/4. So maybe just a little bit stronger than what it was at the open. Now on soybeans, we're actually higher. November, 1 1/4 higher. Oh, we'll go 12.88 per bushel right now. That's about 8 cents off of our earlier low this morning. And we have January trading 1 3/4 higher. We're at 13.07 1/4. That would be 8 cents off of its earlier low today. And more of the volume is now in the January contract. All right, let's look at the wheat. In Chicago, we have December now 6 lower at 581 1/4. However, if you were with us last half hour, we were showing double-digit losses all across the Chicago and Kansas City wheat markets. So that's gone. They have regained about half of that. In Kansas City, December is down 6.5 now at 664 1/4. That's about 6 cents off of its earlier low today. Moving on now to Minneapolis wheat. Now they're kind of doing a swap, and now you have December wheat there down 8 at 729 3/4. It hadn't been that weak earlier. In cotton, we're down 38 points on December. We're at 83.35 cents per pound in the Deese cotton. Well, let's go to Ben Hushon. He's with the mill. He's in Whitehall, Maryland. He joins us now for an update on conditions there. Hey, Ben, harvest underway?
Good morning, Marlin. Yes, it is. I tell you, it's interesting. For the third weekend in a row, we had measurable rain. It's been dropping each week. So this past weekend, we only had about 1/4 of an inch. Really didn't slow down harvest. And folks have really been running hard. Slowed down a little bit Saturday, some of them Sunday, and then back at it again. Some folks have moved over into harvesting soybeans every so often, for a day or two to let their dryer catch up, as we continue to hear 18 to 22% corn. And with the kind of yields that we're blessed with this year, that's a lot of corn to get dried down. And the other interesting note is yields continue to climb. Talked to some folks this morning, what I would call west of Route 83, so that'd be Carroll County, Baltimore County, and they confirmed that too. They started off in the upper 100s, the 160, 170, pretty disappointed, and now they're seeing, and they were hit for the drought much more. They're seeing those yields climb the further into harvest they get.
All right, so when do you, when do you expect to wrap things up there at the pace they're going right now, if you don't get any major rain delays?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Marlin, because there's kind of a couple things happening at this point. There is a lot of wheat still gets planted in this area if the time allows. So each farmer is going to make their own decisions. Some of them will stop combining to plant wheat intentionally. Others will get to the point where they feel like they're ahead, and maybe they have time to put in wheat that 3 weeks ago they hadn't decided to plant. So we're a long ways from crossing that goal line at the end, but I would say corn, and it's all over the place. Corn probably 50, 60% harvested. Some are probably more like 75% harvested. And one other side note for the viewers who wonder why I stuck a picture of a weigh wagon in the middle of the combine harvest, just a reminder to the viewers and listeners that make sure they take time to calibrate that combine. Get a hold of somebody to come out and calibrate that combine so those yield monitor numbers are accurate.
I know you can tend to have a little different climate when you live right along the coast like what you do there. Sometimes that can lead to a more mild climate. How common is it to have double crop wheat in that area there?
pretty much most of my life. That's been, in fact, all of my life. There's been wheat. The difference is as the consumer demand in the Northeast, especially, has grown for flour. Many things, human consumption, the corn chips, and various other uses for flour, bread, baking, etc. As that has grown, so has the price and demand for wheat. So, yeah, I would say wheat acres have always been here, but they've certainly been climbing the last 20 years.
But do they double crop after beans or corn?
Great question. Some of both. Depends on, if somebody has a no-till planter, you can go right in after corn, right into those corn stalks. Others prefer to take that gift of nitrogen that the soybeans are going to leave behind for the following spring. So really farmer preference from what we've seen.
Right. Okay. Well, thanks for explaining that. I appreciate that. That might answer a few questions out there. Ben, we'll check in with you next week. Ben Hushon of the Mill in Whitehall, Maryland. We'll be back in a moment, and we'll take a look and see if the cattle market can rebound or not right after this.